Once upon a midnight dreary, while I wandered weak and weary over many quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, "tapping at my chamber door." Only this, and nothing more. Ah, distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surroute case and sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whose angel named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to the still beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late-night visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, as you so gently came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you." Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the darkness gave no token. The only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered. An echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard the tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely there is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what the threat is, and let this mystery implore. Let my heart be still a moment, and let this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when, with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a moment stopped or stayed he, but within mine of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon the bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on night's plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answering little meaning, little relevancy bore. We cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing a bird or beast above the sculpted bust above his chamber door, with such name as Nevermore. But the raven sitting lonely on the placid bust spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather then he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, "Other friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, and my hopes have flown before." And the bird said, "Never more." Startled by the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, "Doubtless," said I, "what it utters is only stock and store caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs grew one burden bore, till the digers of his hope that melancholy burden bore of never, never more." But the raven still beguiling all my sad and soul into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore mean in croaking, "Never more." This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease, reclining on the cushion's velvet lining of the lamp light glowed o'er, but his velvet violet lining, with the damp light glowing over, she shall press, never more. Then, methought, the argued dancer, perfumed by an unseen censer, swung from seraphim, whose footfall tinkled on the tuffet floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God has lent thee, by these angels he had sent there, respite, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether temper set or whether tempest taught thee here ashore, desolate, yet all undawned, this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by the heaven that bends us, by the God we both adore, tell this soul sorry laden within the distant Eden, clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whose angels named Lenore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting, get thee back into the tempest, leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul has spoken, leave thy loneliness unbroken, quit the bust above my door, take thy beak out of my heart, and take thy form from my door, quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, and his eyes fall seeming of a demon's that is dreaming. The lamplight over him streaming throws the shadow on the floor, and my soul out of that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted never more.